I'm so excited that this show is coming now because I'm in TCA, so I've already seen the first 7 episodes and I binged them
Oh
like
wow.
all in one day. And after I got done, I'm like, I need to see I need to see the rest of the season like now because I have so many questions about everything that's going on. So
Right.
I'm super excited that it's finally coming. I can actually, like talk to people who aren't TV critics about it and see like what everybody, like what the general population is, feeling about the series and stuff.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
first, I wanted to ask you, this is arguably your biggest role to date as the co-lead of a major network series. And
Right.
I know this is great because I've seen over the years, you have pilots, some things that like, stall, but it's so good to see this one, actually came to fruition. So I just wanted to ask, how does it feel to be in this moment right now? We all know you from All American, Grownish, The Way Back, et cetera, et cetera. But to finally be like the lead of a series right now.
Honestly, it's a dream come true for sure. Like it's this is every actor's dream to, be a lead in the series. And yeah, I definitely feel like I deserve it, but a part of me feel like I don't at the same time because I just feel like, we all work super hard. And there's people that's been doing this for 20, 30 years more than I have and still never been fortunate enough to be in a position that I am. So it puts me in like a awe and just like a real grateful position because I understand that there is this element of serendipity in this business that allows you to really just catapult from one level to the next, and some people call that serendipity, God, or the universe, or luck, or whatever it is, but I know something is on my side. So a lot of times it's like I know I work hard, but I will be a fool to think I work harder than anyone else in the world because that's just ego talking. Like I'm a hard worker, but oftentimes when we're put in certain positions like this, it's just like it's just God, man, and like I'm extremely grateful for it, and I hope the world receive it well. The way all the other characters I played, they were recurring guest stars, but the fans loved them. So I think if that could translate into this series, then I'll be in good hands. But I'm super like happy and grateful about it.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of your previous roles, how do you think your roles on shows like Grownish and All American help prepare you for this role? They were recurring, but All American is such a huge show, like between the CW and Netflix, like,
Right,
I'm sure it
right.
was huge for us, the following and like all the fan accounts and the stan accounts, all that sort of thing. But in general, how do you think having roles like that prepared you for BMF?
It definitely helped me. It allowed me to build confidence because I think when I first got on the screen in what 2017, 2018, like 3, 4 years ago, and it was Jessica Jones, and I remember I was nervous as hell. I didn't know how the world was going to receive me or anything like that. And then I shortly after that I booked Grownish, and I was like, damn, this is going to be even worse. Like now I'm in more episodes, and it's just like I don't know how the world is going to receive me. And after my character was like one of the top 10 worldwide trends on Twitter, I was like, wow, people actually kind of like me. I was like, this is like, okay, this is a new feeling. And doing it over and over and over and going on multiple episodes and doing different projects like Lethal Weapon, The Way Back, The Boys, and All American being a hit show, and my character being a fan favorite. It's like it gave me that confidence. I was like, all right, you know what? People receive me well on screen. Now I have that confidence with that. So just diving into character. So it just allowed me to be a better actor because now I got out of my head, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And let's talk about BMF. For the character of Terry, did you have any sort of reference points? Did you get, I don't know if you talked to Demetrius Jr. about it. How were you able to craft your interpretation of the character, especially being that, you're dealing with the real life figures now and not like, just, I mean, it's scripted, but it's still based on real life events, of course.
Right. Absolutely. I was fortunate enough to be, starring with Lil Meech, and Lil Meech is the, direct correlation to Big Meech and the entire family. So he at one point he just became my personal Google. You know, I was just asking him stuff, and he gave me information. He put me on the phone with his pops a few times, so I talked to Big Meech from prison, and I talked to Southwest T. And when we was filming in Detroit, I talked to Southwest T in person, and Lil Meech invited me over to the house, so like the whole family kind of took me in. It was just sharing off the record type of things with me. So all of that support really just helped me lock in to the character, because I was like, okay, I got support of the whole family, so now I'm good. So it made it a lot easier and take the pressure off, but it was still a lot of pressure because I mean you're playing someone who's still currently alive and relatively young, and the one I'm playing, they just released him. He just got out because of COVID, so yeah, so they're gonna watch the series. So I'm like, damn, it's a lot of pressure.
That's interesting you said, because I actually, when I was watching this series, I was having to Google a lot of information. It's like I knew the general information, but not like the
Right.
details. So I was like, wow, like he literally just got out last year because of COVID and everything, and it's crazy how like the series is in progress as that happened, and how things just kind of align, sort of, to have opportunities during this time.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy.
And I guess without revealing a ton of information, because we want to leave, we don't want to get into spoiler territory, but what can you tease about what to expect in I guess the early episodes of the season, and how you think your character and everyone else continues to evolve as the season goes on?
I guess I would say just expect my character and every other character in the series to just go through an emotional roller coaster. I think we go through every emotion, where we're up and down, and just fussing and fighting, and it's gonna take the audience on a ride for sure.
Yeah. I know when I was watching, I think that I felt like there was the first 2 or 3 episodes, I felt like went a certain way, and then like an event happens, and I feel like the rest of the series kind of like has. I mean, it all kind of has the same tone, but it's a little bit like it's like a switch that's flipped once you get like around episode 3 or 4, and I'm like, this is actually a lot to do. There's a lot going on in the show. So
Right.
I think fans
Right.
I'm interested to see how fans respond to it. And of course, this is another series executive produced by 50 Cent. So
Right.
how is that feeling, having being in a series from 50 Cent, considering the massive success of the Power universe, which is also on Starz?
Being a part of, one of 50 Cent's projects has been, that's a dream come true as well. Cause I've been a huge 50 Cent fan my entire life. I everything 50 Cent, I bought all his albums. I was like, with me and my brother just think we was related to this guy. And just to be working with him, it's so unreal. And I remember one time on set I was having a conversation with him, and he said, but let me tell you something that's about to trip you out. He said, you probably never pictured the day that you would be helping me to propel into the next level of my career by being on this show. You're helping me. I was like, damn. I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, I was like, yeah, he's such a humble, chill dude. Like he's like people like I think if people get to meet 50, they're like, yo, this like, he's cool. Like he's a chill dude, marketing genius. I think he's misunderstood for sure. He's a cool he's a cool dude.
Yeah. Overall, what do you think are some things that will surprise people about BMF? Considering, I feel like the crime drama is kind of popular right now. You have similar shows. Of course, Power is one, and then it's also Raising Kanan is kind of a period drama too, like BMF is, and then you also have Snowfall on FX. It's kind of a genre that's getting a lot more shows recently. So, what do you think will surprise people about BMF, and how that will stand out from similar shows that are like it?
Well, I think it being a true story is it has like over its head. But I know Snowfall's a true story as well. But also the Flenory brothers ran, you know, they made history in America on both the hip hop culture, fashion, and like, you know, with the federal offense that they committed. I mean, they were one of the largest domestic drug distributions in the history of America as two Black brothers, you know, that, and when they got busted, they seized like over $270 million cash for them. That's like not normal. And how influential they were to the hip hop culture was ridiculous. And that's why, you know, you hear rappers all the time make references to Big Meat and Southwest T or BMF. Like, you know, I mean, this hit song out right now with City Girls, they saying something like throwing money like Meech Home, BMF, you know what I'm saying? They know nothing about the show. They don't even know Big Meech and them like that. But it's just
Yeah.
rappers pay so much respect to them only because, you know, when they were around, they were starting a label, they signed Young Jeezy, Fabulous, the other guy, Blue Da Vinci, someone else. And, you know, they really was like putting their mark in that hip hop culture before, you know, things went left. So I think what separates them is like they weren't just in you know, this drug dealing business. They was like really trying to branch out in entertainment. And you know, at the same time, it's like this story, I think we try they try their best, the writers and, you know, Randy, the showrunner, you know, they try to humanize the characters as much as possible. So it's kind of like in a Joker, the movie The Joker, you saw how the Joker became the Joker. And I think, you know, in this series, you kind of see like, you know, how poor they were and what drove them to be like, oh, you know what, let me just go this direction, despite the fact that they came from a two-parent household and a God-fearing household, you know, because some people are like, how does that create that? But, you know, like Marcus Aurelius said, you know, poverty is the mother of all crime. So when you're poor, it's a different reality. And especially when you're Black and poor in America. And at that point, and Detroit was the murder capital of this country. So it was like it wasn't that. I think when you put everything in consideration, when you consider all things, you'll be like, it'll help you understand their position more and be like, yo, that was either gonna do something like this or just live the life of a common man. But either way, I mean, you might as well be dead, you know? Like this shit is not a life worth living, you know, and that's really was their mentality.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said before, this is, I guess, a crime drama, but it's also a family drama too, because you see the inner workings of this, this Black family, a doing the best with what they've got, but also, like you said, um trying to, maneuver basically from what's presented. So how do you think the themes of, like family and, even friendship and things like that will be able to resonate with the audience as well?
Um, I think I think their brotherhood and their bond, I think the audience is really gonna like that because these two guys are really, you know, tight and organized, you know, and I think that's why they were able to make it so far, you know, and to me, watching it and reading it, sometimes I can't help to think like, man, what if these guys had the same opportunity as, you know, so the Caucasians in this country, the Caucasian kids that have, you know, access to whatever. It's like these guys probably would have created the next Google. They probably would have created the next Apple, or you never know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but the fact that they, you know, had a mastermind alliance, you know, with this much poverty there was around, and they still made it out and really made it to the American dream. And, you know, it's because of their blood, sweat, and tears right now. I have a job 30 years later, you know, I'm telling their story. And Little Meech is employed. Now Little Meech have a career. That's the American dream, you know? And it all started from that family and that bond. And I mean, they did exactly what, you know, the OGs who started this country did. You know, you do some legal things and you gain power, then you tell everyone else in the world not to do it just so you can keep your power. And then you start using it for good. You know what I'm saying? So attitude reflects leadership. And, you know, they had that organization that the same founding fathers of this country had, and they were genius and methodical with it. And, you know, and I think that came from their family bond, and they were able to create this empire. But they, you know, shot themselves in the foot because when they got caught. But like as Big Me said though, he said if he had to do this all over again, he wouldn't change a thing. And I think he meant that, and he means that because look at all the opportunities it's provided. You know, hundreds of people in Atlanta was employed on this BMF set. You know, when we moved to and when we went to Detroit, people was employed there. You know, you have journalists. You know, people who doing interviews and things like that. Like everyone is having work because of them right now. You know, so it's like yeah. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, that is all I have for you. I thank you so much for chatting with me today. And I can't wait for everyone to see this. Like, I'm gonna hit up Starz. Like, y'all, you got to give me more episodes. I just feel like there's so much left too, because we're just going through like the early infrastructure building. Like, there's like the a whole so much more history to start,
right.
to delve into with this series. So I really hope that we get to see more and more as time goes on too. But
Right. All right, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate you.